Grateful for your company. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Let's now look at our stories. And ratings agency Fitch has upgraded Ghana's rating or long-term local currency issuer default rating to CCC from restrictive default. The UK-based firm has also affirmed Ghana's long-term foreign currency IDR at restrictive default and the country ceiling at B-. More in this report.
Fitch also assigned CCC ratings to 2 interest-only bonds issued on completion of pension fund holdings of the domestic debt exchange program. It also assigned CCC ratings to 4 domestic US dollar-denominated bonds issued on September 4 this year. The upgrade of Ghana's long-term local currency IDR, is said, follows the completion of the domestic debt exchange program. Fitch considers that, as a result of a series of domestic debt exchanges, Ghana has normalized relations with a significant majority of local currency creditors, with a participation rate of 92% on local currency government bonds. Fitch also said the local currency debt exchanges represent a debt service reduction of 52 billion cedis in 2023. It continued that the domestic US dollar denominated debt exchange adds another 5 billion cedi debt service reduction in 2023. A further reduction is on its way.
All right, so let's bring in the views of Associate Professor of Finance at Andrews University, Professor Williams Pra, on the back of this upgrade. Thanks so much, sir, for joining me on Business Live. First off, good to know we've been upgraded to CCC from restrictive default. What could be accounting for this exciting news?
Good evening, Pius, and thank you for getting me at this time. So we noticed that in December 2022, the government told the whole world that Ghana was not in the position to pay its creditors, both local creditors and external creditors, especially those holding Ghana government bonds. So the focus or the basis for this particular change in ratings of default is because in August, Ghana government started making coupon payments on the new bonds that it issued based on the debt exchange program plan. So that has given a signal that Ghana has moved from the restricted default to what is termed as a substantial risk, or in terms of default, there is a strong probability that Ghana may default, which is better than not making any payments. So once we have started making coupon payments, it brings some confidence back into to investors that Ghana is doing very well from the perspective of local bonds. So that is why there's a rate change from a restricted default to the CCC rating.
Good to know you've mentioned that it will go a long way to boost investor confidence. But in a whole, do you think its impact on the economy will be felt, especially at a time when we are looking forward to, make our way basically in the capital market?
I mean, the importance to the Ghanaian economy is that in the eyes of the world, it gives some confidence that we are not the position that we were in 2022. Things have changed. Indeed, if you take note of the debt exchange program figures, a debt reduction of 52 billion, which is even higher than our total revenue that we received in 2022, means that the government has room, probably in future, to be able to continue with some programs that is doing. We may also be very, in my opinion, we should not jubilate for moving from a restricted default to a CCC, because they are all classified as junk box. It still means that we have a probability or high propensity to default. Just that we have made the first payment doesn't mean that the way is very clear. It requires government to stay on plan, try to increase revenue, and find ways to reduce expenditure, and that will really help our economy. Let me chip this one in. we have to also hold on and see what will happen to the external creditors, the Eurobond holders, because that one will be the major breakthrough for Ghana if you're able to get a 30 to 40% haircut as being projected by the finance minister, because that savings alone will really make sure that we have a very good balance of payments in the future. It's going to strengthen our foreign currency situation. So that is what we have to hold on. The local side, which the CC plus, we should not be jubilating. It's just a sign that we have started making payment on some debts that are due. That is all. As I'll repeat it, we should jubilate if we're able to get the external creditors signing on to a debt exchange program that really frees us, because the external creditors or Eurobond holders is about 13.1 billion US dollars. It is a place that's where we get the haircuts that is going to really have a major impact on our economy. So though the domestic one has helped, but this impact is not going to be felt so much as the Eurobond holders if they give us a haircut.
I see. You've mentioned a litany of what we need to do, basically on the local and external levels. But beyond that, we've got to maintain this trajectory and, of course, see much better upgrades. What more can we do?
So the government must be consistent in paying coupon payments. The more we are able to pay our coupon payments and we pay it on time, it is going to cause an upgrade in the ratings, because the ratings is just purely on measuring our rates of default. So if our rates of default reduces, our ratings will go up. So that is the essence that it's all about. So two main things for government to raise revenue to pay the bonds. Either one, you increase your revenue side, or two, you reduce your expenditure to free up cash flow to be able to pay the bonds when they are due. So these are the options that are available to government to use.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Williams Pra, for your time here on Business Life. Always a joy to have you on. Share your perspective with us on economy-related stories. Pleasure, sir. Let's move away to some other stories. MTN Ghana registered a profit of 2.77 billion cedis, about 32% year-on-year in the first 9 months of 2023. According to its financial performance at the end of September, the telecom giant delivered 36% year-on-year increase in service revenue, driven mainly by growth in voice, data, and mobile services. Here's more.
Was underpinned by the continued execution of Ambition 2025 and sustained investment in capital expenditure to support improvement in service quality and the expansion of network capacity and coverage. Its voice revenue grew by 14.5% year-on-year to 2.7 billion cedis. However, the impact of the National Communication Authority's directive on SIM disconnections continued to impact the subscriber base, resulting in a 9.3% year-on-year decrease to 25.8 million. There was also a strong data revenue growth of 47.6% year-on-year to 41.1 billion cedis. For mobile money, revenue increased by 51.6% year-on-year to 2.1 billion cedis. For the outlook, the leading telecom firm pointed out that it will continue to invest to develop its platforms and improve its network and services to unlock value for stakeholders in line with its Ambition 2025 strategy.
To some other stories we are following up for you, the Abossey Spare Parts Dealers Association has called off its sit-down strike against the GRA's compliance and manual policing exercise, which is considered as intimidating. According to the association's head of communications, Techi Ado, the suspension of the sit-down strike is as a result of the withdrawal of the GRA personnel from their shops.
The Abossey Spare Parts Dealers Association have registered their displeasure about the implementation of the GRA's compliance and manual policing exercise without any consultation with the association. According to the association, the action by the GRA was disrespectful. In a press conference, however, the association's head of communications said the suspension of the sit-down strike was due to the withdrawal of the GRA personnel from their shops.
As we've already stated, we've suspended our sit-down strike based on engagement with the GRA commissioner and the custom commissioner. At least we are in 80% dialogue. So we are giving them 2 weeks. Even within the 2 weeks, we will know the outcome of it. But positively, they are going to withdraw their men from our various shops. But concerning the customs task force, they have already withdrawn them from the Accra Kumasi Highway. So when you go there, you will not see them. That's the greatest achievement. That's what we want. But left with the GRA from now on to next week, you will not see the officers in our shops anymore. That's the reason why we decided to adopt. Fine, let's suspend the strike for the time being. At least let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Next week, next 2 weeks, we get positive results. If anything go contrary, we'll come back again to be on the streets.
The association reiterated that it does not oppose the EVAT policy, but called for a consultation with stakeholders.
Meanwhile, tax analyst Francis Timoboy is employing government to enhance its sensitization and engagement with stakeholders on the implementation of tax policies to ensure full compliance with the tax laws. He spoke on Joy Business Summit.
Consultation is very critical in every tax policy implementation. If you allow the people who have been affected by those taxes to have a hand in what is going to be implemented, number one, it creates some transparency and accountability. And again, you are able to get compliance, full when you are implementation, because I was part of the people who suggested and implemented. But what do we see? In our case, sometimes we roll out a tax before we even start engagement. Look at what happened in the A-levy. So I have seen Ministry of Finance sending some letters out to people and say, okay, look, we need input. But it appears it's just one way. There's no feedback. So if I keep on suggesting and you don't take my suggestions, then clearly I won't be happy with the decision you take. And so for me, I think we even saw it in Parliament. Parliamentarians were fighting when the VAT was increased.
Yeah.
So there's that division even if in the House of Parliament. So engagement may be done, but I think that the level is really not what we need to have effective policy implementation with our tax policies.
You're still watching the Joy Business Van. We shall be telling you, after facing a series of rejections, Logon Voice Limited has become a go-to place for tailored software solutions enabling businesses to grow. We shall be telling you more after this break. That's it for Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. We've got international business for you. Bye.